Right, so we got our mesh cached out. Let's start building our scene and get ready for rendering. So I'm just going to drop a null here so that I can point to this later. Call that out in capital letters. Come back out, and then I'm going to drop a couple of nodes here specifically for rendering, right? So a geo here, and I'm going to call it render fluid. And I'll jump inside object merge and grab the fluid. So back to that out node I just made. There we go. So we got that in there. Then I can turn off the visualization of this. Then we'll do the same for the strawberry. I think for the strawberry I'll just steal this file node and drop it in here. So I'll turn off the visualization on that. New geo. Call this render strawberry. Jump inside, drop this file node. So we're going to be attaching different materials to each component of this strawberry. So we need to split it up. And the easy way to do that is just to use these deletes. You can use a delete or a blast node, does the same thing. Grab the body there and then just do delete non-selected. Okay, and then we could name these just to be clear. Delete body. Alt click and drag to copy that, and then change this to hairs in the group there. So you can just about see them. If I put the background to dark, there we go, you can see the hairs. And I'll put delete hairs. Alt click and drag, grab the seeds, there we go, and delete seeds. And one more, what else do we have? The top part, right? Delete top. So let's call this delete and top. So I'm going to subdivide some parts of these as well. Not all of them, it's not necessary, but let's do a subdivide for the body. Just one is fine. Not the hairs, not the seeds, but the top as well. There we go. Cool. And then let's give these some materials. In fact, we could just merge these together again. That would be easier. Let's take a merge. And oops, let's take this one, shift this one, shift and drag these two, and then connect them all up to the merge, back up to the material. Okay, so now that we've got these split up and we want to do any more fixing of the geometry, you know, we can do it quite easily there. So to add materials, body, I don't have a material yet, but I'll just give myself the roots now. Actually, if I go back here, so yeah, we'll drop them in mat. Okay, so that will be our root, mat slash body. Hairs will be the same, right? Mat slash hairs, and seeds the same. Make sure I get that kind of roots there. Mat, sorry, slash, where's my slash? Seeds, and last one for the top, right? Grab my top group, material, slash mat, slash top. Of course, we got an error there because we're not finding the material. I'm going to drop a null for the out. So this is what we will be rendering, this part at the bottom. Okay, let's call this out. And kind of a really annoying thing that can happen is if your working on something in here, and you come up here and you're visualizing and you're maybe working on the topology of this, and then you forget to go back down here when you want to render, you'll render this out, and you might not notice until you've left your computer on rendering all night and you've lost all of this geometry. So what you can do is, if you come here, if we hover over, actually we get the information. It says click to set both display and render flags, so we can have them separately. Control click to set only the render flag, alt click to set only the display flag. So if I control click here, you see we get this purple thing. It's a bit confusing because it's kind of the same color as the this I forget what it's called, the templates, that's right. But the render flag means that if I visualize these, it doesn't matter. When I come to render, the Mantra will find, or Arnold, sorry, will find these, okay, and render this part. All right, so we'll leave that. Let's do the same for our fluid. Well, in fact, we don't need to. I'm just going to jump into my camera to get a better view. Just in this case, well, we're not going to do anything else to the fluid, I don't think, so we can just leave it as it is. The render flag is already on. You can see the purple parts in the middle. Let's build our material. So I'll jump into matte, and let's grab a Arnold material builder. Jump inside. As we're going to be using a standard surface for all of these, I just connect that up, come back outside. So we need, how many? For the strawberry, we need body, seeds, hairs, and top. So that's 4. And then 1 for the fluid as well. So that's 5 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I'll put the fluid over here and then the strawberry bits over here. So if I call this body, well, make sure it's the same as what we typed earlier in lowercase. Body, top, hairs, and seeds. Oops. Make sure we spell it correctly. And the fluid. Okay, so we'll give them some quick colors just to make sure that they're assigned correctly. Top will be a green. Hairs, I don't know, yellow. And seeds, a different yellow. Obviously just for visualization purposes now. And we'll leave that white or an off-white. Cool. Now we just need to assign the fluid material. So we can do that out here since we've only got one object. So I just come up here to my matte and grab my fluid. And then if we jump back into the strawberry, we should see, hopefully, yeah, we don't have the error flag anymore. Okay, so let's come out there. We need a light, so let's drop an Arnold light. Okay, make sure that the high quality lighting is not on. I find I have problems with that with Arnold light when I connect up a Skydome light. So yeah, we're going to be using a Skydome light, which, as you can see, it's not this actual shape, but it's a kind of infinitely large sphere which points light in all directions. So in this case, it will just be projecting white from all directions into the middle. But we will actually want to connect a texture. So, you'll have this texture from the beginning. Just drop it into your HDR folder. Well, in fact, I don't think when we go to new project, yeah, it doesn't make a HDR for you. So just generate a HDR folder and drop it in there. And I'm going to find mine. So I'm in HIP in my HDR folder that I created. And then I've got this hdr.exe. Going to grab that. Okay, get rid of that. So we've got a light, materials, objects. Okay, so now I'm going to generate a ROP, something to actually render our nodes, right? So come to tab in the out context where we do our rendering. Render, Arnold, grab that. So with the candidate objects, we can use this star which will render anything with the display or the render flag on. We can either do that, or just to be even safer, we can just force these two objects, right? So the fluid mesh and, the render fluid and render strawberry. We just want to render those two. Okay, accept pattern. And we've only got the one light, so we can just leave that star on there. So any light which is turned on will render. So that should be all we need. We've got our camera, just the one camera we've got. So let's check it out. So let's see if we can get a render. So there we go. We've got something. You can see all the different colors, okay, which means that our materials are applied correctly. And the milk. What you can see in the background is the texture of the HDR, right? I'm gonna just change this projection because you can see it's kind of stretched out there. I'm gonna try maybe lat long. So yeah, that looks better. See, it's not kind of stretched out in the background. Okay. Cool, so all that's working. We can get rid of that in the background. If we just come here to contributions, you can see if we turn this to 0, we won't see it in the background anymore. Right.